on. Show a bit of enthusiasm. Don't start the show with just like, oh, God.
Proceed.
God bless you, Governor. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Interesting Modelling Company Sunday service. We've got a packed show tonight. We've got lots of models to talk about. So where shall we start? Ian, how has your week been?
This isn't going to be great, is it?
No. Ian's muted for some reason. Ian, your microphone isn't working.
Oh, pity.
Oh, there we go.
We can hear you.
We can hear you now.
Is it really?
Yeah,
okay.
You're fine.
It's fine. No, okay. Having left the show midway through last week, my back was absolutely crippling me. I've been up here for about 15 minutes in the whole week. 10 of them were getting ready for tonight's show.
Right.
So, yeah, that's about the limit of it. I had my model club meeting on the Wednesday. Hi to all the guys. That was really quite cool. That always is. He's helped, but we hold it in a pub that's about 3 minutes up the road from me, so that's quite nice. But yeah, unfortunately, not what Drew would refer to as a stellar week.
No.
So the back's a bit better. It's been going on for about 4 or 5 weeks now. All I did was walk somewhere and back, and I've been more or less crippled ever since. So all this stuff about walking to keep you fit, now get in the car, it's like. So yeah, that's my cheers.
Anyway. Oh, Ian.
Chris, how's your week been then?
Pretty decent. I gotta say that I think you've got a picture of the diorama as it stands now. That it's
Smilodon, yes.
Smilodon, yeah. So got the base pretty much finished. I got the I got started last night on the animal itself. Those usually don't take very long. Honestly, the painting the animals is it's like painting a big figure. Really, same ideas, everything's there. A little more research went into it to find things about there's what it looks like right now. It's blocked in basically the main colors, and now it's going to be a lot of brushwork around the face and paws and things like that, and then painting the cubs. I found a website of a guy named Mauricio Anton, who's a paleo artist, who's done some really good stuff around saber-toothed predators, because there were some that weren't cats. And I'm going to put this guy in some spots. So he's going to have a classic ambush predator. So
what kind of spots? What color spots?
Probably a very dark brown. I don't like to go black. I like to go dark brown.
So they haven't got a halo around them like some of the other.
Yeah, there won't be rosettes. They'll be legitimate solid spots.
Okay. Oh, cool. All right.
But I'm going to be inspired by some of his work, and we'll see what happens. But
when did this animal go extinct?
Smilodon was fairly recent.
Because it's sort of Ice Age-ish, isn't it?
Yeah, like a casualty of the Pleistocene, so like 40,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So there would have been significant crossover between that and the Homo sapien.
There probably was early interaction. It's really funny. You hear people debate, like, did humans cause the demise of the megafauna? And you go like, yeah, well, megafauna got big to protect themselves from big predators, but then when humans showed up, being big was a big liability because the stupid humans could see you from a long way away and would kill you off and eat you, and there's nothing for these guys to eat. So that's a pretty easy to follow theory. No, it's a blast, and like Jonathan said, it does have a very Aurora prehistoric scenes feel to it, which I
Homo sapiens destroying the ecosystem for 100,000 years.
We've been at it for a long time. Yeah, it's great,
and we haven't stopped yet. Where's the little tortoise come from?
The little turtle came from the Timea triceratops kit.
Ah, right.
Great thing about turtles or tortoises is that there's not really any scale to them. They can be 35th scale. They can be 20th scale. Who cares?
I must admit, I did look at that and go, "Oh, a crunchy pasty."
Oh, goodness sake, Drew, what have you been up to?
I'm still wading through this F-35, and I'm now at this stage where I was trying to do it to a plan, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And it started getting away from me, and I thought, you know what? Anything I do on this at the moment is going to be progress. So just so just get on and do stuff. So I'm at that point at the moment where I've got some parts that have been glossed, polished, and had decals put on them and stuff like that. Things like the tail there with all the markings and stuff on them. And other parts of it I haven't even finished painting yet. Like the main fuselage has still got various panels and stuff that need to be painted. And some of it is, and a good chunk of it is still actually on the sprues. So it's just, but at some point I just decided, you know what, anything is progress. So stop worrying about doing it to a plan and just start.
I have to say, I do like your metallic dark grey. That looks absolutely spot on.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is by far the best representation of it I've ever managed. And the thing is, I would actually make it a bit grayer if it was an A or a B. But the C's, specifically the Argonauts ones on the first cruise, really were very, very metallic in appearance as they started to well, not corrode but get weathered. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way. And actually, if you do catch it in some lights, it does turn really quite grey.
I was just going to say, and in some lights, it actually turns quite gold.
Yeah. So I am overall. I think it's the best representation of this paint that I've yet managed. And it's one I will be. It's one I'll be sticking with for the future. And also the plain grey panels, they're not too much of a contrast.
No,
I see a lot of models where there's actually a really significant contrast. I'm trying to get this in. Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah.
A really significant contrast between the main grey and the ram tape parts. And I wanted something that's far more subtle. In fact, in the flesh, it's not even as pronounced as it looks on screen here. But yeah, that's been my week. We're starting to. It's just plugging away, really. It's such a complicated build.
Now, Rob Soto says, "Is it a home brew recipe?"
Yes, basically is the answer to that. It's didn't I explain this last week?
I think you did, but some people may not have been
it's
here
just
last
basically
week.
it's a coat of Mr. Surfacer 1500 black, which was then polished out with Trizact, 5,000 grit Trizact, used very wet. Then once that was done, it received a coat of Guns or Mr. Colour Super Iron 2 with a lot of black in it. Just to darken it down a bit, and then it was given a good coat of that, and then after that had been left to dry, that was again polished wet with Trizact just to smooth it all through, and then the mix, the 36170 mix that Tamiya provided earlier on before they released the actual colours, this mix here was just misted over until it knocked it back. Until it knocked that really bright metallic sheen back to what we've got here, which, as you can see, I think it's catching all the edges on the ram tape and stuff as well, because it's had a light polish.
Yeah.
And I just think I'm just really happy with the way it's come out. It looks so much better than any of the other paints that are intended to represent that metallic.
Yeah,
Definitely looks like the reference pictures you shared with us.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of. Sorry to interrupt you, Drew. It's just that kind of. It's that kaleidoscope of colours. I think is the best way of putting it. Is it grey? Is it silver? Is it bronze? It shifts all the time.
Yeah, it shifts. It shifts as you move it around in the light. Yeah. Like I say, if you move it there, so there's no reflection, it actually almost goes just grey, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It almost just goes dark grey. Paul Voyle there saying, "Do you varnish it afterwards?" Well, Paul, all these areas like the ailerons and stuff have already been varnished once, so you can see that it's that's been given quite a glossy finish. Things like the tail planes here, they've been glossed over, so they will get they will get varnished again, obviously after weathering and washes and stuff, and that will again tone it back to a bit duller. So yeah, I mean, after sort of quite a few years of experimenting with metal finishes, with the Havglass finish for the F-35, I think I'm finally somewhere where I think I can live with it. I think it's a finish that I'll use again, undoubtedly, in the very near future. So
It's a big
yeah,
old bird, isn't it?
it's a beast, isn't it? It's a real. We say people just don't appreciate how big the F-35 is.
Yeah.
And
Alan Richardson says, "Looks like you're holding an actual piece of metal."
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But no, I think it's and again, it's on camera, because of what digital cameras do. It doesn't quite capture the full impact that I'm seeing in the flesh. I'm even happier with it in the flesh. But it doesn't hurt that it's typically to me everything just when I want to just clicks into place like that.
I'm looking forward to the inevitable 72nd scale version. Of course, there'll be a 72nd scale kit.
I'm hoping so. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the thing is, I never, I never take anything for granted where Tamiya are concerned.
Yeah.
And so the other thing I've been doing is we're finally getting to a place now where I decided to work on the spinner for the Sea Fury cowl. I've been tweaking it all week, tweak, print. I'm having a bit of trouble with all my printers at the moment, so I need to sort that out. I've got some replacement parts on order, but yeah, this week has mainly been about just refining some of these bits and working on the spinner.
Sorry, do you actually ever think that it's modelers that keep Blue Tack in business?
Yeah, I got that last week.
Oh my word! Yeah, it definitely is, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the best stuff, isn't it? So yeah, the other thing is obviously the little pet project Sea Fury is still coming along. So that's the cowling is now pretty much scaled to perfectly fit the kit. Because the problem is when you're 3D printing, sometimes there will be little variations. So past the initial design of this, all these have been scaled in X and Y, which is two of the planes to 101% to get them to fit. So 1% above the actual design size, because there were some small lips around the joins when I had them at 100%. So absolutely invisible to the naked eye, but allows it to fit much better. So yeah, that has been my week. Quite productive. I think, in spite of not really having much to show in terms of completed stuff, quite a productive week, really. Quite a productive week. So,
well, I've, if I can get my camera to work, I have been finishing off several projects, and chief of which has been Italeri's lovely little AMX. Oh, it's a beautiful little kit, isn't it, Drew?
it is.
Absolutely stunning. So this one, this pretty much the only thing I've got to do now is get the ammo ultra glue and just glue the canopies in place. That's it. It's finished.
Is there an aerial to go on the spine there?
What there?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing goes there.
Huh.
No, I'm sure I've looked at the instruction sheet and I can't see anything goes in there. I stand to be corrected. Shall I go and grab the instruction sheet?
I'd have to have a look at mine.
Bear with. Where's my instruction sheet gone? There it is. Right. Carefully puts model aside. So it should go in there. But I'm just having a look. No, nothing on that step. Nothing on those steps. Nothing on those steps. And in fact, we get to now we're adding the weapons and everything. And when you have a look at the even
No,
on the five.
I'm just looking at pictures now. So
Fine. Anything go there, Drew?
doesn't appear to be. It just looks like
No.
a really odd.
I kept looking for a part to go.
What it
in.
is, it's an exhaust that isn't
Yeah.
hugely.
Here we are, step 18, nothing there, and then we're on to the color diagrams, and there's nothing going on there either. So
it's an exhaust that isn't hugely well represented out there, I have to say.
But so I've just got to glue the canopies in place, and that is it. It has what a fabulous little kit, and I genuinely think Italeri really did up their game with this one. More of the same, please, Italeri. I absolutely loved that, and in fact, I'm hoping at some stage, Mr. Farmer will ask me to build the two-seater, because I certainly wouldn't mind going back for a repeat prescription. So I'm just putting that safely into the spray booth. I have initially finished my my Bedford QL, although I haven't got around to gluing the cab in place at the moment. But there is still weathering and chipping I want to do with this, so I'm just going to finish it for now, and I will carry on chipping. But yes, I will just carry on doing some chipping. So it's So it's going to be things like these blast shields for the 6-pounder gun, which isn't in the kit rather. So yes, I'll just carry on faffing around with that, but that'll just be my relaxing kind of if I'm sat at the workbench and there's nothing, I can't move anything on, I'll just grab this and chip a few areas. Similarly, my little armored Jeep, the Dragon armored Jeep, I'm going to be giving that a coat of the new Humbrol chipping fluid, and giving this a winter whitewash. The one thing I did do today, and I'm just going to see if I can zoom in, is using the oil brushes on the seats there. I used Starship Filth, one of Drew's favorite films. But I just put some Starship Filth in the middle of the seat, let it dry for about 10-15 minutes, then blended it in with one of these Poundland, I think it's a Poundland makeup brush, would you believe? But it's just a case of just kind of stubbing it in, and that way you get that distinctive thing you get with canvas seats, where the middles are always a bit more grubby. So that's that. And then the other project that I'm just trying to move along here is the little Tamiya. I've forgotten what it is now.
M5 or the gun motor carriage.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at the box. M8. It's an M8. And I've given that some oil brusher stains today. These ones I will blend in a bit more. But I gotta say that oil brusher dust is absolutely brilliant. And you just put it where you want it, let it dry for about 10-15 minutes, then take a stumping brush, and like I say, I've got these ones from Poundland, they're makeup brushes, and it's just a case of you just stump it and blend it in. I really like the dust effect it gives, and then once I'm happy with that, I will give that another coat of varnish, and then I will add some dark washes in one or two areas just to pop a few details, just to add a bit of contrast. But certainly, yeah, I do need to blend these streaks on the side a bit more. But and there's the turret. So and again, we've just done some got some streaks and things to blend on that. So that is pretty much it, really. Actually, getting jobs finished.
We're building. It's just remarkable.
Well, the funny thing is, I was writing the op-ed for Brett's magazine today, and the the theme of that was that I've really got to stop multitask. I can't multitask, and I am happier at the workbench when I'm working on something straight down the middle. No, no distractions or anything. So I will be, once I get these projects out the way, the next project I start will be, that'll be it from nuts to soup, as they say. So right, gents, shall we dive on with the news? And
John Connolly there just saying, Drew, is the kit part overly inaccurate? Presumably talking about the Sea Fury.
The Sea Fury.
No, the cowling. It's not that it's inaccurate, John. It's that it's a moulding catastrophe. It's just a very, very poorly executed part of the model of an otherwise pretty nice model.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, really. And like I said last week, it's just a private little sort of practice for me. It's not intended for anything. It's just me practicing my design skills. See how we go.
Got a question from Mike Williams, who says, "Remind us, John, which kit is that Bedford? Looks great." It's the Italeri reissue of the Max kit from Max Peerless kit from 50 years ago. So yeah, it's
Max Peerless. That sounds like a 60s sci-fi character.
You actually think you should be the bad guy in an episode of The Persuaders or something?
Yes,
like that.
yes. The Adventures of Max Peerless. But thank you, Mike. Yeah, like I say, that's going to be a work in progress. That's going to be my kind of. I fancy doing some chipping, so I'm just going to carry on chipping. Right, news, chaps. News. And we've got some breaking news for you tonight, folks. And that is the Hobby Company is to handle the distribution in the UK of ICM kits. Now, see, Drew's face lit up there for a second. That's good news, isn't it?
That's fabulous news.
Who was doing it before then?
I think various people just bought them in. I think Hannants were bringing them in sort of off their own back. I think most of it came via Hannants. So I think getting an actual importer who specializes in that thing is just fantastic news. Maybe we played a part in that, John. I don't know.
I don't know. All I can tell you is, and I'm just calling up the message here. The message was something along the lines of there may be ICM. Here we go. There may be ICM models that may need building at some stage. So,
oh no,
I know, what a hardship.
So sad for you guys.
Yeah.
So I was waiting for you to say the message reads broadsword calling Danny boy.
There is that. Yeah.
Missed opportunity there, my friend.
God, I love that film. In fact, Drew, the next time you're up, we're watching that film.
What film?
Where Eagles Dare.
Oh right.
I've got it on Blu-ray, so we can watch it. Right.
No, that is fantastic news. That is really, really good news.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And the weekend coming up, Saturday, the 1st of March, I will be down there Glastonbury for Formula Fun, and I will be doing a modelling demo on behalf of the Hobby Company, and I'll be building that big 1/12 scale Tyrrell 003, the 1971 Monaco GP winner. And that's the one I'm building for Russ, the owner. So I shall start work on that weekend. So if you are around the area, and it's amazing the people you bump into in Jadland these days. If you are in the area, do pop in. Treat yourself to a trip to Jadland. But yeah, I will be there all day on Saturday, the 1st of March. There we go.
I'll be at the Peterborough show on the day after.
Right. Shall we dive in with some news? And I know this will be of particular interest to Drew. Clear prop models, MiG-19s.
I have money set aside in a savings account ready.
Excellent. Well done. they're doing a couple of boxings to kick off with, but the first release, which is going to be the Czechoslovak one, these are the schemes for the kit. So you're going to need silver paint, I'm afraid, folks. But no.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. And that's the one I like. I do like the look of that.
They can only fly east to west, because they fly north to south, they'll be over Florida before they can even know.
Yeah. Oh lordy, it's such a beautiful aeroplane, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's the Soviet Union's Super Sabre, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite MiGs, and to have Clearprop doing a kit of it is just fabulous. And they have actually confirmed that they'll be doing a 19C in due course as well, the non-radar version, which is the one that was also produced by the Chinese as the J6.
Yeah, this is the MiG-19P, and Clearprop say we're excited to present the paint scheme options for our upcoming 72nd scale MiG-19P kit. This new release offers a range of authentic liveries, each designed to capture the unique character and history of the iconic MiG-19P.
Oh, what a great subject that's been deserving a decent kit for a long time.
And we know with Clearprop that's exactly what we're going to get. So it's just such a it's so Cold War it hurts, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Who's done models of this in 72nd scale before?
So KP have done it in the dim and distant past, which is also this, and KP and AZ models have also redone a new tool in about 2018, 2019, which is actually not terrible, but it's that typical KP thing, if you like, where it's not terrible is the highest praise you can give it, really. And actually Hasegawa did a 19P back in the dark mists of time, but I'm not. Was it 17 or not? No, it might have been the 17.
They 17,
did, yeah, 17. All right. Sorry, Hella.
Ah,
there you go.
Yeah, Hella. That's what I meant to say.
Someone saying Bilek. No, I don't remember.
Bilek. Yep, they didn't want to.
Yeah, I think the Bilek is just a re-pop of the original KP and stuff.
That would fit their way they operated, wouldn't it? They were mainly back.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these
versions
were all sort of. It was very incestuous for quite a few years between all these companies, wasn't it? In terms of mold sharing and stuff like that. But yeah, I think we can safely say that Clearprop are going to. Yeah, there you go.
1973.
I thought it was earlier than that. Actually, that surprises me.
No, apparently 1973.
I thought it was actually one of their early mid-60s productions. There we go.
Oh,
there we go. It's only 52 years old.
Only.
I remember the early KP kit. The first version was great if you needed lots of scoops. All the scoops were individual parts. There were like 5,000 scoops in the trees. So,
in fact, Chris, the later AZ stroke KP retool was just the same. It was just a box full of scoops, and now I just have various designs for 3D printing everywhere that you can just like print 500 of them on a
lifetime supply. Yeah.
Hella MiG-19 kit number L251 new toolkit 1973.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I thought it wasn't even 72nd. I thought it was slightly bigger or smaller.
Yeah, it's that weird kind of almost 72nd scale, but not quite. I think the big 21 stuff is the same.
Yeah, and like Dave Fleming said, I mean, Trumpster announced one years and years ago, but they never got round to it. Although Trumpster have done it in 32nd, I think.
I think they did Chinese ones, didn't they? And then they carried
But it's just it's a as far as I'm concerned, a state of the art tooling of this airplane is well overdue. So welcome to welcome to the Clear Prop one. And I've got money set aside ready.
I just picture one of those Pakistani J6s with the dramatic green markings on the tails. And, oh man, there's so many options for these things.
Yeah, and it's like with the F-16 style paint scheme, and they all had Martin Baker Mark 10 seats come the end as well. So it's little things like that really really mattered. And obviously the A5 Fantan was a MiG-19 with a nose and proper intakes.
Yeah. That's one we haven't seen yet, have we? That's still a little bit elusive for modelers.
What? In 72nd?
Yeah.
No, Trumpeter have done it.
Yeah.
Oh, Trumpeter did it. Okay.
All right. I've got one in the other room actually. It's a really, really nice model. It's actually very expensive as well. I seem to remember it being the sort of thick end of 30 quid when it was released, even in 72nd, which is, was quite shocking. But it's a nice model.
Positively shocking. We go from an aeroplane that saw quite a lot of production and countries that used it to one of which there was only really one prototype ever built. And this is Brengun, and they're doing a 48th scale Kokusai Tago or Tago. The Kokusai Tago was a prototype Japanese kamikaze aircraft of World War II. It was developed in 1945 as a small, easy-to-build aircraft which could be built in large numbers in small workshops and was largely built of wood to reduce demands on strategic materials. A single example was completed, which first flew in June 1945. But the end of the war kept it from entering into production. And there it is. So total number built, 1. But Brengun have obviously felt there's money in them Japanese suicide airplanes. So
they built one kamikaze airplane and it survived the war. What are the odds?
Yeah. Well,
isn't this the second kit? Not of this aircraft, but we've had the Edouard did a KI-115, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yes,
a similar vein.
Yeah.
There's a fascination with these things.
I gotta say, it tickles me. There's something about it. It just, I quite look at that. I dread to think what it's going to cost, but as
Brengun are normally fairly reasonable, aren't they?
Not too bad. Yeah,
there's something a little bit offbeat.
Yeah, I mean, clearly that is something that is made from slab-sided bits of wood and just, I mean, because it's only intended to fly once, isn't it?
Yep.
So, it's in, and the KI-115 was actually quite refined, wasn't it?
Yeah.
By comparison.
Much more airplane-y looking aeroplane.
Yeah, it looked like something that could have been an actual useful aeroplane.
Yeah. That reminds me of like early 1930s French training aircraft.
Yeah,
I have some magazines and books from the 30s about sport aviation. I've been looking through them for Spencer's build of that Curtiss carrier pigeon, and that looks a lot like these home built things from the 30s, where guys were slapping together things in their backyard and putting an engine on them and see if they could fly.
Yeah.
American markings, interesting.
That's quite a.
But it looks like if that had a retractable undercarriage, that'd have been quite a racy little aeroplane.
When the Edouard kit came out of that, there was a lot of conversation around whether bits of it were actually adapted from the OCCAR. The rocket thing. Whether the canopy section of the cockpit were a direct lift from that. If you go back to that side-on view that you had, John.
No, it's gone now. Shut the window down. No, it's all right. We'll go back.
It does actually look very, very similar to that shape. So there was obviously something going on with the way they were organising stuff. But the KI-115 looks a much more refined piece of design than that.
It looked like a much more involved aeroplane to make if you were just going to fly it once.
Yes.
I would argue the other one is actually more sensible for its intended role.
Yeah.
But Kokusai Tago does look like one of those kind of like, it looks like something from a carnival where somebody's built an aeroplane around a bicycle. So for the parade or something.
7 or 8 of them on chains hanging from a central spike or central post that spins around. Yeah.
Therefore,
right on.
Therefore, traditional, as it taxis out, it plays.
Yeah. The next new release is goodness me. This is from literally from Azure, and this is the Block MB210 300 built. It was the successor of the Block MB200. Blah 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 blah. The schemes they've got in the kit include number 8 Esquadrilla Romania. This aircraft was credited with 1 aerial victory over a Rata, but was destroyed on taking off on the 29th of August 1941. And they're doing a couple of schemes in the kit. They're doing the Romanian one, which does look rather tasty, and then they're doing a Vichy France one.
Hello.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a sticker sheet to it. Beautiful box art. I gotta say that does look rather tasty.
It's that typically pre-war French hyper ugly. Britain's making some ugly aircraft. Hold my beer, kind of look, isn't it? It's
yeah.
Why have curves on your fuselage? Just
all the engine nacelles. Look behind the engines themselves,
Yeah.
behind the cowlings. That's just a big square. It's Lego, isn't it? It's a Lego aeroplane.
Sorry,
it's hideous. I love it.
Do you remember KP did the predecessor? They did the MB200.
Yeah.
And the plastic. The fuselage, which was even more square than that one, actually you folded it. It was flat. You folded bits of it to get the angles right.
Photo etched plastic.
It was actually. I've built a couple of them back in the day, and it was actually really good fun to build. It was just that little bit off the wall because they were high wing on the fuselage, and these are obviously low wing. But that is it me, or has that got a Bolton Paul Overstrand nose on it?
Well, that's what I said. Ugly British aircraft. The side strand and overstrand. What I was thinking.
But
he drew a Whitby from memory. Oh, very good, Travis.
enough.
I do like the fact that the Bombardier and the Navigator up in the nose have lots of light.
Yes.
Very airy.
It's kind of like an Art Deco building, isn't it? It's,
yeah.
It looks like they're probably in there smoking cigars and drinking espresso.
That was what I was going to say. They need the light to find the lighter for their Galois.
They need the light to grow the watercress as well. Good job we're done with. Good job we're done tonight with strange-looking French aircraft because my goodness me, the Dial Bacalan DB210 French nighttime heavy bomber. This is coming from Micromere. What can we say about this? A whopping 1 built. It was a heavy night bomber designed in France and flown in 1926. It was a twin-engined a high-wing metal frame monoplane distinguished by a very thick center section wing which formed the forward fuselage and housed the engines.
That's about all. I mean, I was gonna go in very hard on this, and then you said first flown in 1926, and I thought, you know what? For 1926,
probably radical.
That's pretty cutting edge overall, isn't it? It's got some interesting design decisions. It looks like they forgot to finish the upper fuselage.
It looks very Fritz Lang's Metropolis, doesn't it?
Yes. I suspect its top speed and its stalling speed were about 1 knot apart. and that was 50 and 51 knots or something.
Its top speed was gravity.
Yeah, there was a period of time. So there was a period of time when lots of designers were going with this thick wing section. Inside it. There was it the YB-15 that had it as well. The big Boeing
Oh God, let's look that up.
Multi-
I
shall we?
remember there was some Soviet stuff as well. Wasn't there, with them?
Yeah, and there's some other European designs that
Yeah.
are part of the private market that had this kind of integrated
Yeah.
fuselage wing effect
got a
where
Well,
feeling there was an
it's not
airspeed
a
of
terrible
some
idea, is it? I mean,
No.
in more recent years, if you look at most fourth and fifth
That one.
generation fast jets, you know, the center of the fuselage is one big lifting body. The
Right.
Tomcat, the Eagle, the F-35. If you look at the F-35, you know, if you catch that coming towards you, you can actually see that this whole area here is just one massive lifting body.
Mm.
And you know, I always looked at the F-35 and thought, oh, it's got tiny little wings. And then I saw a picture of one coming at you, one of the Dutch one, I think, coming at you in full after, and I went, actually, there's an awful lot of lifting area on that aeroplane that you don't see if you exclude, if you just think of it as just the wings. So it might have been an idea ahead of its time that just took, you know, and that big pancake on the Tomcat is just pure lifting body, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the flanker, for that matter.
We've
Going
done
back
ugly
to
aircraft.
still
We've
ugly.
done ugly aircraft. Let's now do unarguably one of the best-looking aircraft of all time. This is from Vespa Models. They're doing decal sheets, and this is their 148th South American Hunters. I think we can all agree the Hawker Hunter is one of the finest looking aeroplanes ever to grace the skies. I've got to say, out of all these schemes, I do like that one at the bottom right in the kind of desert camo. That catches my eye.
Yeah, the Chilean one. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes, still my beating heart. South American fighter aircraft, 50s, 60s, and 70s. Hello.
mm-hmm. Actually,
Yeah,
I'd
and
take-
the Peruvians had a lot of hunters, didn't they? They were one of the first export customers, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because I think I'm right in saying that the Peruvians were one of the few people who had actual new build hunters.
Yeah, they were one because they were the first ones, I believe, proper outside of Europe to get an export version with its own export number. Like
Yeah,
58.
because the vast majority of hunters that were sold overseas were rebuilt RAF F6s,
Right.
Rebuilt to basically FGA-9 standard and then sold on.
Yeah.
Also coming from Vespa, and this is where Drew passes out. They're doing 2 sets of Tamansky engined Sukhoi 22 fitters, and that's volume 1. And if
I don't know. Problem here is I don't know who does a kit for the Tamansky engine.
That question, wasn't it?
That was the question I was about to ask you, Drew. Was who does a kit?
I'm pretty sure most of the kits are. You have to check what model Spit have done actually, because I think they might have one in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Because they've done the Lyulka engine variants, but the Tamansky engine one has got a very, very different rear fuselage.
Mm-hmm.
It's much fatter in the rear. You can see it there, that distinct bulge.
Yep.
These drawings in the rear fuselage, because the Tamansky engine is a considerably bigger engine. And was an export variant. And then you got the 4M, Su-22 4M, which will be the Lyulka engine, and that's Soviet Union, Poland. I think the Czechs had that variant as well. So you really have to check around and make sure you're getting the right variant of Su-22 if you're building a swing wing fitter.
They're doing 2 sheets because they're also doing volume 2. And what a colourful aeroplane. And what have we? Well, let's all pick our favourite variant from favourite colour scheme, shall we? Dum ba dum ba dum.
Well, these are all in fact Su-17s technically. These ones,
right?
Yeah. I quite like that Peruvian one from the first in the very dark green and almost black.
Well, we'll scroll back in a second. Scrolls back. I mean,
it's a nice variant. It's a nice variation in schemes, isn't it?
Yep. Well, as like I say, is there obviously there are
I
variations.
like that grey and green Peruvian
I was
one.
going to
down
say that Peruvian one. You make that next to the hunter. That'd make a good
Yeah.
juxtaposition.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, if you keep an eye on the cockpits, you can see where we've got different sub variants going in this kit as going on this sheet as well. We've got 2-seater down there, yeah, this is Vespa, and the last one of the Vespa sheets we are going to be looking at tonight is these are all 48 scale, by the way. These are T33 Shooting Stars, which again, how many color schemes can you hang on a T33?
I've seen the Chilean one built by someone else using, I think, possibly an Aztec sheet, and that is a pretty looking aeroplane in that scheme.
Mm-hmm.
There's no limit of schemes for T-33s. It's just so ubiquitous, and you have the same airplane in multiple schemes. They lasted so long.
I know, and it's just they built thousands of them. Trainer jets in the 50s. It was like, the Vampire is the same. Thousands of them made.
Yeah.
And so schemes everywhere. I kind of think the T-33 and the Vampire trainer, the T-11, are pretty much peas in a pod. Just so many of them are around the world.
I've got to say, one of these schemes, we'll come back to it in a second, doesn't have any tip tanks on it, and it looks weird. There, that one there, top left.
Yes.
Tip tanks. That doesn't look right.
To Marlin. Nice.
Yeah. But yes, absolutely fabulous sheet. There's the sheet there on the right hand side. These do look to be really well researched, and I do like the fact that the instruction sheets do have some quite detailed color notes on them. So yeah, I like the look of that. And yeah, I'm just thinking T-33. That was one of the first jobs I did for Mike Holloway of Reheat, and we went to Baggington and we measured up the T-33 there, and that was the first photo etch set I ever did. Goodness me, how recent was that? Scrolls back 33 years ago. There we go.
Oh, Dave's just included a link there to Vespa Models conversion for Tomansky engined fitters.
Oh,
there you go.
There we go.
Okay, so what kit are they actually intending the conversion for? There's the question.
I think the models fit.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right, I'm just going to see
If
if I
you're being models fit, it's probably the best of them that's out there.
Yeah, they are. They're from Models Fit's sort of earlier iteration, but they're still pretty nice models.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see whether I can. StreamYard don't let you kind of click on links from people's. I'll cut and paste that later on. Or Dave, if you can post that to the public page, that would be great. So thank you very much. Right, next we have the power. Quite literally, this is scrolls down. It's a company called Acura, and they're doing 72nd scale RS-25 engines for.
I got that right. See,
there we go. For the space shuttle, RS-25, also known as the Space Shuttle Main Engine, is a liquid fuel cryogenic rocket engine that was used on NASA's space shuttle and is used on the Space Launch System. So these are 3D printed, and these are, one would imagine these are going to be 72nd scale to go with the Revell monogram kit, or rather the monogram kit. The funny thing is, watching Scale Scriber still going through their build, it's genius though, isn't it?
He is of another world.
Yep, absolutely.
He is absolutely of another world.
But I would imagine that at some stage these will probably factor into his build, because it will make life. I would imagine these will make life a little bit easier for him. I mean, it's just the level of detail that you can now do with 3D printing. It's insane, isn't it?
It's just glorious. It's
Yeah.
And if you want to see the majesty of these engines, there is somewhere on YouTube. There's a piece of there's about an hour-long NASA video showing a space shuttle launch in slow motion from 117 different camera positions, and people talking you through it every sort of millisecond of it, and it's just utterly engrossing. Do you remember that 8 minutes of showing a Saturn V launch? There's an 8-minute video.
Yeah.
It's like it's of a similar thing, but in much higher quality. And I think it was something like there was 117 different camera positions, so it just keeps flipping between these different camera positions and telling you what's going on at that particular instant in time. It's just a thing of pure majesty to watch. It really is.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I'll be curious to see what Scale Scriber feels about them. But moving on, 1/16 scale. This is Gecko. They're doing a set of German Pak 40 ammo boxes with shells. And there we go. So there's some CAD renders of the kit parts. And it comes with a rather nice decal sheet by all accounts. So obviously 1/16 scale is starting to make its presence felt. I haven't built anything from this scale yet, and I don't know whether I ever will. I'd like to, but yeah, this is going to be a welcome addition for those who do build in this scale. And also coming from Royal Model are this rather nice pair of German Afrika Korps soldiers battery maintenance. It says 3D design and print, and I think this just gives you an idea of just essentially how 3D, scanning people doing poses and then 3D printing them, you just get these fabulously naturalistic kind of figures, don't you?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Now, from what I can remember, these aren't going to be cheap, but that it's Royal Models, so they do tend to be very, very good quality. Talking of quality, here's one for Drew, Res Kit, and they have got in development a range of Python 3 missiles in 72nd scale, 48 scale, 30-second scale. Does that put a smile on your face, Drew?
Well, and I've already designed my own, so
I thought they'd done them already, to be fair.
yeah, I think this is kind of replacement sort of for earlier issues of it as they've moved. Well, I think the original issue perhaps had etched fins, and stuff, and they've replaced it with all resin. But it's such a neat little missile.
I like that.
Very widely used.
The Seeker covers that's a nice touch. It's because you don't
They're nice. They put them in the majority of their Sidewinder and other missile sets. Chris, there's kind of a thing with them.
Yeah. It's really smart. I like it because I like having a model that looks like it's sort of sitting waiting to go, and those things don't get pulled until the plane's about ready to taxi it.
Yeah. But no, it's Res Kit, so the quality is more or less, assured, and it's a very, very widely used missile.
Roy's asking about the scale on the Royal figures. Were they 35th?
35th scale. Yep. 35th scale. Last item for tonight. Goodness me, gentlemen, we have almost ploughed through an hour tonight. Last item for tonight, and personally, it's my favourite. It's my highlight of the week. Coming from Mini Art, it's a level crossing. But this is just going to be one of those ubiquitous diorama accessories, isn't it? It's also pretty timeless. These go back decades. So what do you get in the kit? You do get you get a section of track. You get the actual signal bits and pieces as well. You get part of the part of the raising mechanism, and then you get some more bits for the oh god, that's the barrier, isn't it? Yeah, the barrier. So you get signs, barrier, and a section of track with the little bit that you drive over, and you get a decal sheet with some markings on it as well. I
Very
would imagine. Sorry, Ian?
Very continental in style.
Very continental in style, but I would imagine Mini Art they're gonna be selling these left, right, and centre. So absolutely, I love stuff like this, and I could quite happily just build my way through the Mini Art catalogue, quite frankly, but I just wouldn't live long enough. So anyway, gents,
great diorama accessory for one of the things the Germans did with the Stug 3 is they would park it other side of a crossing like that, firing down a road, so that there's usually a hump in the road. So they were down where you couldn't see them as you're coming up the road, and they could see you. And that was a trick they used all through the war.
No,
So
absolutely.
effectively, they were in defilade.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, gents. Any other business? And yes, we have stolen that from Fighting Talk. There's probably people who listen to Radio 5 thinking that's from Fighting Talk. Yes, it is. Any other business, gents?
No, not really. Not from me. Not tonight.
Did you get the picture of Mike's?
Oh gosh, yes. Thanks for reminding me, Ian. I didn't put a note. I should have written a note down. This is Mike Williams, and it's his build of the 48th scale de Havilland Dragon Rapide, and first aeroplane that my late father ever flew on. And this is from the Armory Models kit. Feast on this, folks. It's a beauty. Share screen. Come on. There we go. What a scheme. What an aeroplane. I don't think I'm out of flavor if I say that's probably the best looking biplane that's ever been built. You know, the de Havilland Dragon Rapide. I just think it's a
well, it's certainly up there. It's de Havilland, isn't it? So it's
yeah, for a twin engine biplane, that's fantastic. There's no power eggs floating between the wings, and there's the landing gears enclosed, and it doesn't look
the bigger one. It was a Dragonfly, wasn't it? Also equally beautiful.
Yeah.
4 engines.
Mike hasn't gone for the easy option here. He's gone for white and silver. So two tricky little schemes, two tricky little colours to deal with. But that is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
Been watching him build that for the last few weeks and thinking it's going to be but it's Mike, so we know what we're going to get. Let's be honest. So,
well, I think
very nice.
I think his son Ethan helped him out with the rigging today as well, because Mike put up a picture of Ethan working away on his workbench. And like I say, I will be back down in that there Glastonbury this coming Saturday, the 1st of March. Oh, thank goodness for that! It's the 1st of March. We're getting closer and closer to a period of time where I'm not constantly kind of having to look at my energy consumption here. But I was down in that there Glastonbury on Friday, and just trying to find the pictures here. Bear with, folks. Bear with. I can't find them. We were down at Jadlam on Friday, and I went down there with my good friend Laura, who is one of my visitants when I was on holiday 2 years ago. Just get that in there, Drew. And we went to the Abbey Tea Rooms. Drew, we've been there, haven't we?
We've had baked potatoes with cheese and beans.
Yeah, isn't it fantastic in there? So so I will be back down that neck of the woods this weekend. And so I look forward to seeing some of you there. When I was down there on Friday, I bumped into your brother.
Who?
Rory.
Oh, did you? Oh, right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you saw the picture. So that was Rory and Kim were there, so that was quite nice. So Right, folks, that's it for tonight. I want to say a big thank you to Ian and Chris and Drew and to everybody who's tuned in this evening. We will be back next week, fingers crossed. Until then, we'll try and do a pop-up live in between as well. But until then, as always, Ian, are you going to have any other business there?
No, I was just trying to work some times out for me for next Sunday and getting back from the show and stuff. So May skin my teeth thing. We'll see.
Okay. We'll hopefully might even do a pop-up live from the Chadland Formula One event. Let's wait and see what happens. Anyway, until next weekend, everybody out there, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you very, very soon. So from us all,
see you later.
bye for now.